Hello, I'm Larissa and I'm one of Excel's school counselors. Today we're talking about emotional wellness, tools for handling life's big feelings. The purpose of today is to offer tips to support emotional wellness, like how to identify difficult feelings, tools to help manage and regulate these feelings, and making empathetic choices. These skills not only help in the present, but also build a foundation for our future emotional well being. We're going to start with identifying emotions. So, we all have emotions. All the emotions that we have, whether it be happiness, sadness, stress, anger, frustration, they're all valid and they're normal. Having emotions is normal. The goal really isn't to stop them, it's to manage how we respond to them. Now, we have positive and negative emotions. Usually we think of positive emotions as those that make us feel good, like calm, happy, engaged. And then we have negative emotions that make us not feel so good, like worry, frustration, disappointment. And all these different feelings, they can cause us to have different reactions. Sometimes our reactions are physical, like a stomach ache, a headache, we cry. Other times it can be a tantrum. It can be difficulty eating or sleeping. It can be irritability. It can actually be shutting down, isolation. So there's different ways to respond to emotions. But the most important thing is we want to name the emotions. We want to think about, what am I feeling right now and what does my body need? Well, now let's move into managing emotions. There are three C's of coping: calm, control, and connect. The first one is calm. Calming yourself is how we practice simple regulation tools. Um, we practice deep breathing, mindful movement, using a weighted item, or even a hug. Ice cube, putting ice cube in your hands until it melt. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense up your muscles, hold it for a little bit, and then let it go. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is five things you see, four things you hear, three things you can touch, um, two things you can smell, and one thing you can taste, right? It's to calm down. Next is control. And this is where we redirect our energy so that the emotions don't take over. So we want to get active, maybe drawing, journaling, building something with Legos, writing a worry list and then throwing it away, a stress ball or putty or Play-Doh, something you can hold and mold, punching a pillow if it's that kind of day, or quick movement where you're dancing or running or just getting a chance to do exercise. And then last, we want to connect. Connecting is having a judgment free space to work through a struggle. The most powerful tool we have really is connection. Doing something like a side by side conversation where we're not looking at each other, but we're sitting side by side or in the car, taking a walk together, having a shared meal, doing a time in. Instead of a time out, we want to do a time in, where when we're both ready, we come back together and we have this conversation. Or maybe even reading a book together would be great. We're going to go into choices. Our choices really do matter. We do have a gap between our feelings and our actions, right? So we can't really control how we're feeling, but we do have control of our how we react. That is our power. We can choose to take control of our reaction. And our choices usually impact other people. So we always want to be aware of other people's perspective. It's important that we think about, how does this make somebody else feel? And that leads us to empathy. Empathy is not just a feeling for, it's not just understanding someone, it's also thinking about how we can have a guided, thoughtful response to that. It's really the core social skill that we should be practicing every day. Now, sometimes, even though our emotions move up and down like the weather, or change like the weather, sometimes we might get stuck. So it's important that if you have negative feelings that last more than 2 weeks, it's affecting your schoolwork or your work or relationships, or you're having thoughts of physical harm or threats, we want to ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. If you're not sure where to go, you can always go to your school counselor, your pediatrician, or your doctor. Or if it's really a really heavy problem, you can call the crisis line. I really thank you for taking time to talk with me about emotional wellness. Now I want to connect with you. Please take this student survey or parent survey so that we can use the responses to guide and understand the need that our students are having. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.